Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for another Let's Play. As you can see from the flaming title there, we are playing Mobile Suit Gundam, Zeonic Front, a game that has been requested so many times I stopped counting them. As you saw, the pretty cool cutscene they actually had there at the beginning for it. It's actually kind of a long cutscene too. I think it's one of the longer ones for it. Anyways, so this game came out for the PlayStation 2, which is exactly what I'm playing it on at this moment. I was trying to get this game to emulate correctly, and I had no luck whatsoever. There's too many things were wrong with it, so I ended up just wanting to play it on the PlayStation 2, and the controls are a little bit better that way, I think. So, to explain a little bit about this game, came out in the early 2000s, I think 2001 or so. Can't remember the exact release date. It plays a lot like Rainbow Six games used to, like the old Rainbow Six games, where you just control a pack of mobile suits basically for it. I have beaten this game one time, and that was it, and that was a long ass time ago. I beat it and then never picked it back up again, I think because I was renting my copy at the time. But let's go ahead and start a new game. And we'll start our journey into Principality of Zeon. Okay, so we can start some training here, it looks like. Yeah, you know what? I haven't played this. I haven't done any off-screen training for this, so you know what? I might as well try and familiarize myself with the controls. I have a basic idea, but anyway. So if you're new to the game, it will attempt to teach you the basics of pretty well everything. There's actually an option later on called Simulator where you can go in and do advanced tactics, kind of like VR missions for Metal Gear. Alright, so here's our Zaku and Char.
We will now commence training. Follow the on-screen instructions.
Okay, so we're going towards our next point as soon as it lets me start moving. I'd love to move forward. Alright, say, we're moving. Alright, so pretty well when you're taking these simulation tutorial missions, you're not going to be allowed to do a whole heck of a lot more. I mean, I can't run, I can't move my monitor or anything like that, so... Alright, so now I can run for it, so much faster. I do like the design of the Zakus in this game. It's just fantastic. Alright, blah blah, so now I can actually turn. Yeah, okay. Sometimes it's a little touchy with that. You got to get the targeting reticle somewhat near center, but not all the time for it. Alright, so basically, can I go out now, Dad? Thanks. Alright, let's go. So there's one operation point. Two. And essentially, this is actually how the AI does everything in the game. It's all done by routing like this, which we'll get to that a little bit later on. So test cleared. Basically tells you what you've learned, and you're allowed to go forward. So we've completed training number 1. Let's go ahead to number 2, which I'm pretty sure will be attacking or some sort. For the most part, this game, you can literally just play it with, I think, these two training scenarios. The movement, and I think this next one is the attacking one. You could play the whole game just based upon that. But you're going to have a hell of a time getting through some of the missions. That's the only problem with it. Alright, so in order to target something, we have to use our right analog stick. There we go, it's targeted. R1 is our default attack. Now, you do have access to heat hawks and stuff like that, but it all depends on your proximity or proximal location to the target. So, let's go ahead and get in range of these guys over here. Now we actually have a little bit more we can work with, and I'll start shooting at it. It's certainly taking its sweet time to blow up. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to try our close range proximal attack. Now, automatically switches over to close range attacks when your mobile suit gets in real close here. So all you have to do is hit the attack button again, and boom. The close range attacks do tremendous damage, but they also expose your mobile suit teams to a hell of a lot of gunfire if you're not careful. Alright, we can actually, thank God, manually reload in this game, and I'll let's see if I can show that off. Alright, let's see. It should be... no, that wasn't it. Maybe it was L1, R2. Or it might be locked completely because of the game itself. So where'd our friend go? There he goes. What's kind of funny is actually you can see part of the other training routes here. Okay, that takes care of that. Test cleared.
Even weapons with superior firepower have their limits. You should always select a weapon that is appropriate to your circumstances.
Again, Char giving us just such pearls of wisdom. And it tells you here we can always access these again from the simulator option, which we'll get into that later.
is Universal Century 0079, March 11th. The second Earth descent operation has begun. Our objective is to bring the North American territory under our control. Captain Garma Zabi will be the commander in charge of capturing North America.
Oh, sweet mother of God, we're all gonna die.
I'm honored to be commander of such outstanding soldiers, and in charge of capturing the North American territory.
I don't need to explain to you the importance of this operation. We will conquer North America to establish a base from which we can move to take over Jaburo, the Federation's general headquarters in South America. Let's strangle the Federation by the throat! I wish you all the best of luck. Over.
Okay, so now that we've got past our initial cutscenes here, this is basically the main menu that we're going to be familiarizing ourselves with. We've got our missions here, which is our actual story missions. Background, which will give us kind of like a synopsis of what's currently going on. The simulator, which we can go back to and take a look at training. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and into that right now. There should only be, only 2 trainings right now that we can get to, but there are a boatload of these things later on down the line. Matter of fact, a lot of the unlockable stuff that you can get for this game actually come about from going through the simulator programs. There's a lot of stuff, and I still haven't decided if I'm going to try and go for all of that crap. That's a lot of stuff to unlock for just these little things. We got our normal save load or options. Matter of fact, I'm going to check my options, which I should have done beforehand. Settings. Okay, we don't need to fuck with that. Go back here, and we'll go into our first mission. Should have a briefing, I hope.
Fenrir Fangs.
I guess if I had to classify this game, it would be kind of an RTS, definitely towards that end, because while you can, like I said, you can take control of everything, you've got the option not to.
You're all here. Now, our mission is to descend ahead of the main forces and secure an airbase as a beachhead for the invasion of the North American region. The HLV will drop us off close to the enemy airbase. We will move in at once to take over the base before the enemy has a chance to organize a counterattack. Our intelligence has located the enemy headquarters. It's here. There are numerous lookouts situated at the base. If you're spotted by a lookout, you'll divulge our location and the enemy will call in their defense troops. It's vital that you destroy those lookouts first. We think the enemy will be mainly using Type 61 tanks, but do not underestimate this vehicle's power. We have also detected several Medea craft along the landing strip. There's no reason you should let them get away. Either destroy the aircraft before they take off, or seize the control tower. Our first objective, take over the base headquarters. Second objective, eliminate the base's defense troops. And third objective, seize the control tower. The key to this operation is speed. We must not give the enemy a chance to organize. This will be your first battle as the Midnight Fenrir. You must improve on your performance during basic training. Over.
Alright, so as we heard there, that's actually our commanding officer. That's Lieutenant Commander Garrett Schmitzer. Schmitzer here is, he's an okay guy. He just kind of likes to give orders from behind the scenes. There's actually a whole cast of characters that we're going to get to know throughout this game, and it's not just going to be generic grunts that we'll have nothing to do with. There'll be some recurring characters, which is nice, too. Because most of the time it's just grunt characters, and these are all kind of original characters that really didn't have a whole lot put into their, in existence until this game came about. Now we're going to see our normal characters like Shar and a few others that will show up along the way, but for the most part, this is all new. Okay, so here's our attacking instructions. Enemies attacking from the rear, dangerous. While tracking enemies on the mobile suit display, keep moving. Weapons have an effective range, blah, 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 blah. So basically, stay within the effective range of your weapon and don't get flanked. Which is true. The armor for a mobile suit in this game is weaker on the ass end of it. So if you're going to have to fight and run away, make sure you kind of run away with your facing the enemy type thing. Okay, so For every mission, we're actually going to get to this type of screen here, and it's our turn to actually kind of set up how we want to do for it. We don't have a whole lot of options to do right now, but as we go through the game, more and more we'll be able to open up for it. Of course, if you just want to get right down into nitty-gritty, just hit go here, and, well, you can go on and look at it. Let's see, here's our map screen that we can select anytime on this one portion by hitting select, and it shows our 2 separate routes for red team and blue team, and I'll get into a little bit more about that. And we can just leave that up there for now. Let's see here. There's some stuff about the weather, a little bit of mission, and the Minovsky particle percentage is actually kind of important because the higher it is, the more difficult it's going to be for us to use certain items down the line for it. Now, with mission, we can just see the mission objectives. I'm not sure if this will play the whole thing. Yeah, it'll just play the whole damn thing again, so we'll skip that. So if you didn't catch part of it, you can just go right back to it. Team setup and support. This is actually something we'll be spending time with as you go through the game. And I'm not sure if I'm going to show me going through and customizing all these things once I do have the ability to do that, or if I'll just show you the end result type of thing. So right now we only have Lieutenant Roher and MCPO, Master Chief Petty Officer Austin. And he is fielding Zaku 1A, and I'm Lieutenant Roher, who's basically my main character here, is Zaku 2F. Not a whole lot for it. We can actually go into them and switch them over to standby or whatnot if we really want to. There's no point because we have nothing to really go onto standby. Which is weird that the Zaku 1 is actually a prototype model. I'm not sure if I'd want the prototype version of that thing. So, not much we can do right there for the moment, so we'll leave that around. Route setup. Now, as I showed you with the map here, every mission that you go into will have an automatic default route setup that the game will just provide you. You can go through the entire game with that default setting. You'll have varying success rates. There's 2 missions in particular I know where the default route just is suicide. But I've heard of people doing it. Matter of fact, my brother who played this game before I did, he managed to actually beat the entire game, and he didn't even know there was a way to edit the frickin' route setup. But you can actually edit that by going into route setup. And then you'll see the whole thing here. We can actually just take a look and see the entire thing. Now, you can change the route defaults. There are several different versions. As you can see here, they'll just switch how it is for it. Now, you can screw around with this if you like. And I'm probably going to end up changing quite a few of these along the way. You can actually also make custom routes, and along with advanced codes and battle codes for it. You can play this game with semi-automatic controls, or you can play it with completely micromanaging the entire thing. I kind of do a little bit of both depending on the mission for it, so we'll get more into that later on. I may just go through this one time and show an example of how to do this, but for now I just want to show the default route off and we'll go through there. So we'll go ahead to our last screen. Information, well, it's just a little bit of things here. Not a whole lot. This is just going to talk about like the tanks, for example, armor, blah, blah, blah. And you can actually learn more about the characters here. We'll go into that, I suppose, later on once we fill out some more. And more of that information will generate later on down the line. Let's see your advice. You can actually listen to your team members, and they'll give you certain things here.
Well, the Type 61 tank shouldn't be much of a problem. But if they get too close, or if they maneuver behind you, you can kiss your Zaku goodbye.
No worries, sir. We'd never goof up that badly. I mean, we're not a bunch of rookies fighting for the first time.
Point taken.
The way I see it, you can yammer on all you want, but you ain't much more than a rookie yourself, Lieutenant.
You have to be so blunt? Judging by the way you respect my authority, I was surprised to hear that you requested a transfer to this unit. Don't you feel it beneath you to assist a rookie like me?
Don't take me so seriously, Lieutenant. Thanks to you, I'm still alive after all these years. Besides, I've still got lots to teach you.
Guess we're stuck together.
You got that right.
Alright, so that shows up type of the advice you can get. Luckily, it's not all text. You can actually just sit there and listen to it. And they'll have different little things to say about the current mission as they're going in. You can listen to some of them because they have sometimes decent advice. Other times they're just inane chatter like that was before.
You don't have to worry. We're well prepared. Just send us down and we'll be sure to get the job done in no time. I'm ready to kick some Federation butt.
And some of them are real short and to the point.
So they only sent us enough mobile suits for a 2-team formation? No, I'm not saying I'm dissatisfied with replacements. It's just too bad. We trained so hard for today. But if that's the decision that was made, then I'll do everything I can as the operator.
And last but not least, actually this list will get pretty freaking outrageous as we get more characters.
Your technical chief. Nice to meet you. The mobile suits you'll be using in this operation are well maintained. We requested enough mobile suits to form 3 teams. However, they only dispatched enough for 2 teams. You'll notice something different when you settle into the cockpit, so please pay attention. I've installed one of those experimental sensor units into each mobile suit. Some believe the sensors will be rendered useless with Minovsky particles blocking the electromagnetic waves. But I think they're worth having. I'm confident that the data gathered from your upcoming battle will prove my theory. Well, I should go. I still need to make some final adjustments.
Okay, so we're all done with that. Just going through the rest of this here. You save menu, your options menu, or go right back to the main menu, which I think should take you back to mission mode, simulator, load, save, that type of thing for it. Now, one thing I didn't say too much about in team support here is that you can actually go ahead and change a fuck ton about these here. We're actually going to go with radar for our initial sensors. Radar actually has its benefits for it, and each actual sensor has its different benefits. Radar is pretty good in wide open spaces that don't have a lot of cover or buildings in the way, whereas thermal kind of excels in those areas because you can see straight through everything and see stuff for it. And sonar, I don't remember what the hell sonar is worth, so we'll get to it when I can remember, I suppose. But we're going to stick with radar, and as the good doctor did tell us, the higher the Minovsky particle rating, the more likely it is to fuck with our shit. So we'll stick with that. We can actually change our mobile suit team from up to 3 members all the way down to 1. So it's up to you how you really want to do it. I recommend just sticking with 3 for now. You can change your mobile suit that teammate is specifically fielding. We don't have anything to put into it, so not a big deal there. Change our weapons if we had it. Add a support item if we have it, which we have smoke grenades here. You know what? Let's go ahead and add the smoke grenade even. Now, it says here that we've actually exceeded our load limit. Well, maybe not. We'll find out because it won't really let us launch as far as I'm aware. And then we also have a shield that we can equip, but we have none at the moment. And here's that for it. We can't change much else. I think I can add smoke grenades, I think. Oh no, I can add bullets. Increases ammo of main weapon. That'll work. Matter of fact, you can also go over the combat gear if you want to, which is where we were before for the smoke grenades. But I like more bullets for my bazooka. So let's go back to our last screen. Sometimes the actual setup of the screen doesn't make a whole lot of sense of how you get to a certain thing versus the other. So that's about it for that. We're not going to edit anything off the most part because I don't remember a whole lot about this, so I'm going to have to fly by the seat of my pants here as it is. I remember a little bit about the advanced codes, a little bit more about battle structure, but we'll go about it like it is. So let's go ahead and kick this pig, shall we? Now, this first mission can range from it's easy to it's the worst thing ever. If you're going from Federation versus Zeon to this without reading the instruction manual or having played it in the past, you're going to have a hell of a time going through it because it can fuck you over pretty good.
All units, give us a status report.
Blue team, all clear.
Red team all clear.
All right, commence operation.
Okay. So we'll have like a little thing at the beginning of this where we're going to have a little chat with something, and they can actually crop up quite a bit later on down the line. Now here we have our 2 teams going at things. We can actually switch to them by just hitting the up and down buttons on our diagonal pad. But for now, we're just going to control the Zaku 2 team for it. Now he's going to pretty well go onto his own and just follow that red route over there. So make sure we take care of this. And for the most part, it's pretty easy. You can actually turn this on to semi-automatic, to which case the computer will just go ahead and take the predetermined route and, well, with all the route codes and everything for it, you can kind of take control whenever you wish for this or that reason. So it's really up to you. But one thing I want to check is... I'll just get used to it, I suppose. Well, I mean, can I change it in the settings? The thing I'm looking for is that my looking... switch site. Doesn't look like it's actually there. So here's semi-auto mode if you actually want to turn it on. I think you can turn it on around from the menu as well, but I was looking to change the specific setting, but it's not there. So we'll just keep going. There's our tanks, but our route is going to actually avoid them, so no worries. Now, a little bit actually about the reticles themselves. So you got your targeting reticle, but you see the blue outline reticle. That reticle is the enemy one, and it will determine whether or not they see you. If it's blue, they haven't spotted you yet. If it's red, they've spotted you, and they know you're here. Well, we got one more tank here. Things travel in threes in this game, it seems. I'm still not used to this inverted control setup. Now, while certain enemies will show up in the route deployment, and you can actually fuck with it if you want to, there are going to be enemies that you won't be able to spot until you get into the mission. So try and plan ahead for a lot of different things for it. Okay, so we got our blue tanks, and what I'm doing right now is I'm actually trying to wait for our other Zaku 2 team to actually show up, our Zaku 1 team, but he's taking his sweet freaking time, so I may just blow through this. Let's see here. Oh, somebody spotted us. That's not good. We want to take out this control tower. He's almost gone, and he's out of there. Now, the thing about these control tower installations is that they will radio in and let others know that you've actually shown up. So just keep that in mind. Looks like we got our tanks over here. This isn't going quite as well as I'd hoped. And I did turn my back to the enemy, something I shouldn't have done. Let's see here. Shift. Let's do a manual reload. Okay. It's not too bad. Now we can take a look at our teammates' armor and defense based upon... Son of a bitch shooting at me while I'm explaining this shit. You can actually go right off route and just go kamikaze full blast if you so desire for whatever reason, but I do recommend sticking to the routes. I, however, am just not paying attention, getting my whole entire team in horrible danger. Alright, well, now that I've taken out every single enemy there, let's go back to our own route while I explain a bit, and I've done red team's job for them. I probably could have told blue team to halt and taken over all the way over to red team and just did it for it, but for some reason I'm lazy today. I just don't feel like putting up with it. Anyways, we can tell that our teammates haven't really suffered much damage by in the center console there we have our flashing green little health bars. The left side and the right side actually are their health bars, and I don't think they've taken much damage whatsoever, so... Oh, you guys came out of nowhere! That's the thing about the forest, is that enemy units will actually appear almost seemingly from nowhere. So keep that in mind. This is actually a good spot to use thermal. However, I have radar on, which doesn't help me a whole lot for sensors, because in the forest, there's too many objects to ping the radar off of. I do know there's some more tanks coming up here soon. And the higher our Minovsky particle rating gets, the shittier this is going to get for me. Sometimes the targeting reticle can be a little picky, so don't feel too bad if you can't lock on correctly. Let's go ahead and manually reload. Just like in a Resident Evil game for old school, you don't want to be caught manually reloading, or auto-reloading a gun. You want to try and always manually do it. Okay.
Why didn't we notice them before they got this close?
Which is surprising, too, because, you know, we did kind of just blow through all of your forces. Alright, so much for the defenseman. And there's our control tower and the Medea in the background. I don't want to really destroy the Medea. I just kind of want to surrender, damn it.
Surrender, or I'll destroy you.
Wait, I surrender.
We've taken over the control tower.
Okay, so what I've done now is that since we've taken over the control tower, I do kind of have a spoiler alert, and I know what's happening at the end of this mission. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to switch teams in order to bring up red team a little bit quicker here, because we're going to need them to actually do something here in a minute. And I don't want them too far behind me. So we'll just make our sweet trouncing time to the woods here. There's going to be some enemy units, some tanks here. I can feel it in my water. Now what's nice is if you unlock new mobile suits, you can also unlock new variations for things that you can upgrade to over the course of the entire game, so don't feel too bad if you're stuck with absolute shit off the bat. Okay, so we're almost to our route. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and tell my team to move. And I'm going to wait, try and get up here next to these things here. Because there's one rather pesky enemy that we still have to take care of. And there's actually still some more tanks, but we want to be very careful about fighting them. One for the most part, because I don't want to really... This is where kind of the route goes a little stupid. The route wants me to go right out into the runway, and I know this to be a very bad idea. So what I'm going to do is go right up over here. And wait for red team to take their sweet-ass time. See if I can move around the corner. Unfortunately, the graphics look pretty good for some things, but not everything.
Checking our final target. What's this? Analyzing data. This is Big Tray.
Ooh la la.
Seriously, some intelligence job. It'd help if people could do their job properly.
Commander, it's impossible with our battle strength. I think we should retreat.
All teams, continue with your mission. Destroy Big Tray. It's like a spaceship, only earthbound. It's no threat if we strike near its blind spot. Fight as you would against a battleship.
Commander?
Now that the enemy's unprepared, we must seize this opportunity to destroy it. We don't have the luxury of waiting for backup. Go get him.
Okay, so Big Tray's there. The police seem to have themselves an RV, so we got to be careful. Now, the thing that we want to take out are those guns on the top side there. Those are the real big menace, so don't let them get too comfortable with you. Take them out as quick as you can and deploy some smoke, and don't let them hit you. For God's sake, they will destroy your mobile suits. Woo! I got hit pretty good by something there. I didn't see what it was, though.
Confirmed defeat of final target. Sir, we have a communication from the enemy commander.
Wait! Don't shoot! We surrender!
We accept the enemy's request to surrender.
Roger. The remaining enemy troops have begun disarming. All teams are ordered to guard the secured area until our main forces arrive.
Okay, so mission complete there. Now, like I said, if you had followed blue team's route off of default, that would have put you right smack in the center of Big Tray's firing range, and I have lost mobile suits very quickly that way. One good shot from that fucking main cannon, and you're done.
Our mission was a success. We managed to take over the airbase while keeping the facilities intact for our use. We also proved that a surprise attack could be carried out by a small mobile suit unit. And, even on land, the team could still be quite effective.
Alright, so this is our results screen. I don't know how my penalty score is going to be. 0! Hot damn! Yeah, B rank. And I think that part of the problem was I took so freaking long to clear it. I should have switched over and manually taken control of red team. Just halted blue team and gone for it. And I'll explain more about the controls where you can issue orders later on down the line. Probably about the first time I actually edit a main route, and I'll go through that. So, like, as I was saying there, the suicide portion of blue team's route was right there when it puts you right smack dab in front of Big Tray, because by the time you can actually have that cutscene where it shows, oh, Big Tray's here, we got to go blow it up, there are 3 tanks that are right there. They're going to at least put a round into one of your units, and by the time you destroy them, and I recommend actually destroying them because they'll do quite a bit of damage if you're not careful, Big Tray has swiveled both of its main guns and you are fucked. A one shot from Big Tray, I'm pretty sure will take out any mobile suit that you have at this current time in the game. So that's the first mission. And you know what? I'll actually go ahead and see what happens here for the next hitting X. I don't know if it'll give us a chance to save or not. Oh yeah, so okay. So you'll receive new training missions that you can uptake in the simulator if you want to. It'll actually they're pretty good. They actually teach you quite a bit about certain aspects of the game, and I'd recommend using them. So we'll go ahead and engage in the training mission. I don't know what it is. This will probably be kind of a longer video. The load times on this game can be a little outrageous. So if they get too bad, I'll probably just cut them out in the future. Okay. Battle Tactics Training Mission 03. And I see a ground gem over there. Let's see what we get to do to that. Destroy said target. Oh, getting pretty well damaged there. Don't like that. Front attack is risky and takes time. Track enemy on lower left. Yeah, okay, so let's just kind of explain our HUD for a little bit. Can I move yet? Yep, see how he's moving on the HUD. He's out of view. Oh, so if they're out of view, they actually go off of that. Okay. Get enemy into view. Okay. There's our enemy view. He shows back up. Sight color shows the enemy state. And I did kind of touch on this a little bit here. Now, the enemy state here, the reticle is blue, which means he hasn't discovered our presence. Yep, undetected. So we'll destroy the enemy. I can't move yet, so we can just shoot into his back. And as I said before, the armor for a mobile suit is weaker towards the back. Blind spots win. This game is actually to the point where you can set it up to actually carry out pincer attacks along with flanking maneuvers. Where, for example, you can use your fast mobile suit team to have them off to the rear guard and have your two heavy mobile suit teams engage the majority of the enemy forces while you take the fast unit to go straight towards your objective. A lot of the time, speed is the key for these missions for it, but completing all your objectives is important as well. Alright, so now we get to destroy 3 enemy mobile suits. So we get to find 3 enemies and destroy them. Red sight equals detected. Yellow, I think, is cautious, or they think there's something there. Attack enemy from blind spot. And we're actually allowed to move now, so I'll just shoot from the hip. Okay, we detected our next enemy. There he goes, and I saw him over there, but we want to attack him from the blind spot. No, I didn't want to R1 attack him like that. See, they won't really attack onto you for a whole of a lot of time, but they will kind of shoot back on occasion. Always try and flank an enemy if you can help it. So there goes that test mission for it.
Even a heavily armored mobile suit is vulnerable if attacked from the rear. Rather than approaching the enemy head-on, try finding a way to get them from behind.
Alright, so with that being said, you're not going to be able to perfectly plan out, unless you've played the mission or the game before, you're not going to be able to perfectly plan out your route the first time if you so wish to edit the thing. That's why the default route is kind of nice to go through. You're going to fuck up on these missions. These aren't that easy. There is quite a bit of random number generation that shows up in a lot of things in this game. So sometimes even the best planning goes to complete waste for just shit reasons. So don't feel too bad about that. But what's nice is going back into the mission, you can go, okay, I ran into this there. I didn't think it would be there, so I can plan accordingly for it. So there's, the game expects you to fuck up quite a bit. Oh, there's another training mission. Sure, why not? We'll go into the next training mission. And we'll go through another large loading screen. Matter of fact, the instruction manual for this game was actually pretty thick manual. I think it's like almost 50 pages, something like that. 54 pages, it looks. 53 pages, not counting the back. Alright, on to our next mission here. Sensor strategy. Alright. Sometimes these will do a lot better job of explaining than I will, so it's nice to go through them. Mobile suits have 3 sensor types. Use them to detect the enemy. Press circle for radar sensors. Find unalerted enemies on your MSD. Beware, Minovsky particles can block your MSD. Yep, that's fine. Switch to thermal sensors. And there's thermal. Thermal sensors can detect the enemy heat source behind trees, buildings, all types of other things for it. It's really nice. The only problem is it slightly obscures your vision, so you can't really tell for some things. Okay, so it also has a very small, almost conical style detect range. Basically, you can only kind of see your vision in front of you. You can't see all around, as with radar. Alright, so we'll go for sonar. Sonar has the largest range type, and you can see quite a bit. But it only shows up, as far as I'm aware, through motion. So if the enemy's moving or driving or doing something like that, then we can see them. Yeah, static, which means they're stationary or they're not doing anything. So see how he disappears there when he's not moving or anything like that? Let's see, press circle again for radar. You can switch at any time. Nice. Alright, so good to destroy all of the enemies. There are 3 enemies. Use sensors to find the enemy. Detect by enemy is a red sight. If detected, start over. So if we get detected in this mission, we get to start over completely. So let's go ahead and switch over to thermal. Actually, no, sonar might be a good idea at first. So there's our first enemy mobile suit. So if he's going that direction, it means hopefully we will remain... Ooh, oh, he's already on... Damn it! I didn't see that tank there. Alright. At least for these rookie trainings, we can just go through this as much as we want. So now, this tank would have shown up better had I actually had thermal on here. We're going to go back to sonar. Looks like he keeps switching directions, so I wonder if I can sneak around here. Yep, there we go. He's gone. And last but not least, the one pigeon to rule them all. There goes the enemy.
Always be aware of your surroundings and move quickly. Be careful not to let the enemy get behind you.
Okay, so that's the 4th training mission done. And we're going to get more and more of these as we progress. Okay, so that looks like it was the only 2 we're going to go through. And as usual, if you forget about something, go back to the simulator and go through the training.
With the aid of carpet bombing by the Gao attack carriers, we've caused extensive damage to New York. All that's left to do now is to wipe out their remaining military strength. On the other side of the continent, our invasion force was advancing to California base, but has been stalled by the enemy's persistent resistance.
Thanks to your efforts, we have secured most of New York. All that is left to do is to take out the remaining forces. The North American operation has been proceeding according to plan. However, there are some areas of concern. For instance, here. The troops attempting to secure California base are facing heavy resistance from the enemy's defense unit. Reinforcements will be sent as soon as mop-up operations in New York are complete. In the meantime, we'll send your unit. Your mission is to break through this point. It is known to be the heaviest defense line in this area. I trust that your unit will succeed. The leader of the invasion force will give you details when you arrive. Over.
Okay, so it looks like we got a new simulator program. I wonder which one that is. Program 1, which I'm not sure what program 1 is. Let's actually just go into that. There's training and then there's programming, or programs. Practice!
Practice.
This is such epic music for a practice mission. It's no Bright Noah, but I'll take it. And some of these missions can actually span a long time, depending on how fast you go through it, so I may cut them up.
This program is a simulator. It will be an essential part of your training for mobile suit combat. The simulator imitates realistic combat scenarios, except of course you remain alive if you're destroyed. You can only access the basic training level at this time, but we've arranged to continually update the program. You may use the simulator at any time. I want you to practice until you feel confident. Never underestimate the value of training, if you want to survive.
Okay, so we get to simulate battle with a numerically superior enemy, destroy all enemy mobile suits, but also utilize formation commands like attack and scatter, use team halt to control your team leader mobile suits independently, and test your single team coordination skills. Alright, well, let's see how well I can do here. Enemy recon is set on visual, so hide behind trees or buildings and attack the enemy from the sides and rear, set a frontal attack. In a real battle, the enemy will use sensors, but for now, kick some rusty metal butt. I hope it's not rusty. Okay, so now this is the kind of territory I really haven't gotten into. I played a couple of these programs the first time I played the game, but not a whole lot of it. So they're very similar to missions where we can do team setup for this and that and make sure they have certain things as we go. What I may go off of is sonar for him, and we'll go ahead and switch up. We'll go with thermal for you. We'll go back. Wait a minute, did I take him off active for some reason? Yes, I did. Oh, we can only have one of you active at a time, it looks like. Alright, that's fine, whatever. We'll just take Lieutenant Rower there. Route setup. Looks like it's going to be the same mission as last time. Nope, it's slightly different here. So we can advance just to see how this looks. Kind of our cursor. Or I could just, get rid of the map there and look around total. Looks like the length of the runways where we're going. A bunch of enemy units here with question marks. Okay. Or I could have just done this, I suppose. I think I'm going to change that route from that default there to route number 3 default. Yes. There we go. Last screen. I do like that route slightly better. All right. You know what? Let's just try this and see how this goes. Why doesn't it look like I have a weapon equipped? Let me make sure. Okay, so we do have one equipped. Always make sure you got what you need. So you're going to be unlocking more programs as you go, and some you can't unlock until you actually beat the game itself, but for the most part, all of the really nitty-gritty unlockables that you can get come from the programs that are found in the simulator and getting certain ranks, S or A, and they can be a big old pain in the dick. Oh, there's Shar.
Commence simulation.
Roger.
Okay, so for the most part, I'm going to try my best here to not fuck this up, and I keep trying to use my directional pad to go the wrong thing. So we have Shar tagging along here in his Zaku 2 Commander Edition. And I've already kind of screwed up the points because they're not just subtracting. I've screwed up slightly there, and it will do that. It is that freaking picky. I don't know why, but whatever. They're just there for you to keep an eye out for, I guess. Okay, here, let's get some sonar going. Oh, no, that's thermal. There's sonar. So I know there's at least one enemy over to my left there. There's another enemy over yonder. It's really aggravating that attack point is all fucked up. Okay, so now we get to go down the line and just destroy them all. Yeah, we got quite a few of these guys just sitting out here like a bunch of dunces. They're not paying attention, so we actually get to do something here. Let's see, let's do all teams. No, that doesn't work for it. I'll remember eventually, but let's start taking out enemy units. As you can see, getting behind them, you can absolutely destroy them with no effort whatsoever. Their armor is very, very low.
End simulation.
You did quite well. The simulation results are more than satisfactory, but please don't become too content. Keep pushing yourself to improve as you train.
Can I have the other lady back from Tactics Battle Mode? She was much nicer than you, Cecilia. Alright, again, probably time is going to be a factor there, where I took my sweet ass time. Hey, got an S rank, alright. Now, that was a rather easy simulation program, so don't think that they're going to be that easy before I know they're not, because I've read about some of them, and some of them can be a big pain in the ass. So we'll go ahead and escape that. I don't think I will have unlocked anything from that. No, but it does show our rank at least, so we can take care of that. So, for what we're going to do is, I'm going to go back to the main menu and save, and then when we come back, we'll head on to mission 2. So, I'll see you later, folks.